Cowboys Nation, buckle up because today has been absolute chaos in Dallas. From the moment the sun came up, it felt like something big was brewing, and sure enough, this turned into one of the wildest trade days the Cowboys have had in years. We're talking shockwaves across the entire league, and it all started early this morning, before most people had even finished their first cup of coffee. The Cowboys came out swinging, making moves that turned every NFL fan's head, and honestly, nobody saw this coming. Let's rewind a bit. Around 7:30 Eastern Time, news broke that the Cowboys had traded for linebacker Logan Wilson from the Cincinnati Bengals. And here's the crazy part. Dallas only had to give up a 7th-round pick in 2026. That's basically a low-risk, high-upside flyer. You don't get deals that clean very often in this league. It's not the kind of move that completely changes your season overnight, but it's the kind that adds solid depth and experience where you need it most. Wilson is the kind of player who doesn't need to be a superstar to make an impact. He's physical, he reads plays fast, and he's going to help stabilize that linebacker room. For what the Cowboys paid, that's a steal. But that was only the beginning. Just when everyone thought the front office might be done for the day, Dallas hit the gas again. And this time, it was a full-blown blockbuster. The Cowboys struck a deal with the New York Jets to bring in defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. Yeah, you heard that right. Quinnen Williams, one of the best interior linemen in all of football, is heading to Dallas. In exchange, the Cowboys sent Mazi Smith, their young defensive tackle who hadn't quite found his footing, along with a 2nd-round pick in this upcoming draft and a 1st-rounder in 2027. Now, some fans are split on this. Giving up a 1st-round pick always stings, no matter what year it is. But when you're getting a player like Quinnen Williams in return, you have to think big picture. This isn't a rental. This is a cornerstone move. Williams isn't just good, he's elite. His numbers might be down a bit this season, but his presence alone changes how opposing offenses operate. Double teams, inside pressure, disruption of the line. He brings it all. And in a defense that already has studs like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, adding someone like Quinnen Williams makes this front downright terrifying. What's interesting is how Dallas structured this deal. That 1st-round pick they gave up isn't even locked to their own spot. It's whichever is earlier between the Cowboys and the Packers, because of that previous trade connection. That means there's still some flexibility in play. It's smart cap management and calculated risk. You can tell the front office didn't just throw this together last minute. They had a plan, and they pulled the trigger when the opportunity was right. And while everyone was still reacting to the Williams trade, the Cowboys made a smaller, but still notable roster move to make space for Logan Wilson. Running back Malik Davis was released after being brought up when Jack Sanborn went to injured reserve. It's tough for Malik because he's been bouncing back and forth between the active roster and the practice squad for over a year now. He'll have to clear waivers before rejoining the practice squad, but odds are no one's claiming him. He's been a solid team guy, just stuck in a crowded running back room with players like Hunter Luepke, Phil Maffa, and Miles Sanders still dealing with injuries. So where does that leave Dallas right now? Honestly, in a much stronger position than they were just 24 hours ago. The front seven just got a massive boost. Quinnen Williams instantly becomes one of the most dominant players on this defense, and Logan Wilson adds reliability in a spot that's been shaky since Overshown went down. There's a real sense that the Cowboys are done waiting around. They're making a statement. They're saying, we're all in. You can already feel the ripple effect across the locker room. Moves like this send a message. The organization believes this team can compete for a championship right now, not 2 or 3 years down the line. And honestly, that's refreshing to see. Too often, we've watched Dallas hesitate at the trade deadline, playing it safe while other teams get aggressive. Not this time. This front office decided it was time to act, and they went after 2 players who can actually make a difference. Now, I know some people are worried about losing Mazi Smith. He's young, he's got potential, and nobody likes seeing a former 1st-rounder go so soon. But let's be real, potential doesn't win games. Production does, and Williams is a proven disruptor. He's the kind of player that changes your defensive identity overnight. Pair him with Osa Odigizwa and Kenny Clark, and you suddenly have one of the nastiest defensive interiors in the league. Sure, one of those guys might eventually get squeezed out, but that's a good problem to have. That's the kind of depth championship defenses are built on. And let's not overlook what this could mean for the rest of the unit. With more interior pressure, Micah Parsons could find even more space to operate off the edge. That means more chaos for opposing quarterbacks, more turnovers forced, and less time for offenses to get comfortable. This is the type of move that doesn't just upgrade one position. It elevates everyone around it. As for Logan Wilson, he's not coming in to be the savior at linebacker, but he's going to make life easier for everyone else. His instincts are sharp, his tackling is consistent, and he's got leadership qualities that can't be ignored. When DeMarvion Overshown gets back healthy, those two together could form a really dynamic duo. And honestly, if this move means fewer snaps for Kenneth Murray, no disrespect, that's probably a good thing right now. It's about putting the best guys on the field and giving this defense every possible advantage. The best part of all this is that the Cowboys didn't mortgage their entire future to make it happen. They still hold a first-round pick in 2026, plus additional selections later in the draft. It's aggressive, but it's not reckless. It's the kind of front office decision-making fans have been begging for: smart, decisive, and ambitious. What we're seeing here is a shift in mindset. This isn't the same old conservative Dallas Cowboys we've been used to. This is a team that's tired of just being good. They want to be great. And today's moves? They're the kind that great teams make. So as the dust settles and the new guys start getting integrated into the system, you can't help but feel the excitement building. The energy around this team just changed. The Cowboys aren't just reacting to the season anymore. They're shaping it. And if Quinnen Williams brings the fire he had in New York, if Logan Wilson finds his rhythm in Dan Quinn's scheme, then the rest of the league better be ready. Because the Dallas Cowboys just got a whole lot tougher, and the NFC just got a lot more interesting. All right, Cowboys Nation, let's keep this ride going because the story doesn't stop with just one or two trades. The ripple effect of what happened today is enormous. And if you think for a second that Logan Wilson and Quinnen Williams arriving in Dallas is the end game, think again. The roster is shifting, the depth chart is shaking, and every move the Cowboys made today signals one thing clearly. They're serious about contending right now. First, let's talk about the bigger picture. Bringing in Williams is not just about getting another name on the defensive line. It's about changing the dynamic of the entire front. Opposing offensive lines now have to account for a force they can't ignore. Double teams are going to be needed, and when you have Kenny Clark and Osa Odigizua alongside Quinnen, that's three legitimate threats inside. That alone opens up lanes for Micah Parsons, for the linebackers, and even for the secondary to make plays. It's a chain reaction. Every defensive snap is suddenly more dangerous for the offense because you've added another disruptive element that can collapse pockets, force hurried throws, and create turnovers. Then there's Logan Wilson. I know he didn't come in for a first-round pick or anything flashy, but let's not underestimate the type of player he is. He's reliable, he's experienced, and he's the kind of guy who makes subtle plays that often go unnoticed but have a huge impact on games. Coverage adjustments, filling gaps in the run game, communicating defensive shifts, those are the things Wilson brings that can make the players around him better. Overshown's eventual return will be even more effective if Wilson is handling responsibilities cleanly and keeping the defense aligned. This is the kind of depth move that pays dividends immediately and continues to show value for years. Of course, the roster shuffling doesn't stop there. Malik Davis being released is unfortunate, but it's a numbers game. In a league where roster spots are precious, sometimes good players get squeezed out simply because the team has other pressing needs. Davis is talented, but his path has always been up and down, moving between the practice squad and the active roster. Now that he clears waivers and likely heads back to the practice squad, he'll still have a chance to develop, to improve, and to fight his way back onto the field. For the Cowboys, it's a calculated risk, a little pain for potential long-term gain. The ripple effects also touch the rest of the team. Players like Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, and Hunter Luepke are all in positions where their roles might adjust slightly. Healthy scratches and rotations happen, especially after big acquisitions like this. Phil Maffa and Miles Sanders remain on injured reserve, so the running back room is still in flux, but these moves free up opportunities for others to step in, prove themselves, and make an impact. In other words, competition just got heated, and that's exactly the kind of environment that can elevate a team to the next level. Looking at the defensive line, it's clear that the Cowboys are building something that isn't just for today. They're thinking strategically about the upcoming seasons. By acquiring Williams and adding Wilson, they've addressed immediate needs without sacrificing the core pieces they already have. This is a defense that can dominate inside the trenches while keeping the flexibility to adjust to injuries or scheme changes. It's a smart, forward-thinking approach that shows a front office willing to take calculated risks for maximum reward. One of the most fascinating aspects of these trades is how they affect the draft picks. The second rounder for 2026 and the first rounder for 2027 might seem like big assets, and they are, but in exchange for proven talent like Quinnen Williams, it's a price that's justified. It's always tempting to cling to future picks, but wins are earned on the field, not just in potential. By bringing in immediate impact players, the Cowboys are signaling that they value championship contention now, not just sometime down the line. Another angle to consider is team morale. Big moves like this send a message to the locker room that the organization is fully committed to winning. When players see that the front office is willing to pull the trigger on elite talent, it can create a contagious level of confidence. Teammates start believing in each other more, practices get more intense, and the competitive drive heightens. It's not just about the talent coming in. It's about the culture shift that these kinds of moves produce. Strategically, these trades also allow the coaching staff to be more creative. Dan Quinn now has more options on how to deploy his defensive line, mix blitzes, and rotate personnel without worrying about leaving gaps. Quinnen Williams fits perfectly in multiple schemes. Whether you want him penetrating the A-gap or collapsing the pocket from the interior, he's versatile enough to adapt. Meanwhile, Wilson adds reliability at linebacker, meaning defensive coordinators can plan more aggressive strategies without fear of being exposed in coverage or run defense. It's a chess game, and Dallas just added some major pieces to the board. Let's not forget the fan reaction. Cowboys Nation has been vocal about wanting big moves, and today delivered exactly that. Sure, there are always debates about whether the trades were worth it or about the players given up, but the overall excitement is undeniable. When the news first broke, the discussion exploded online. Social media lit up with debates, predictions, and highlight clips. This is the kind of buzz that energizes a team and a fan base. Momentum isn't just something that happens on the field. It starts in the stands and across the community, and right now, Dallas has it in spades. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a shocking turn of events that has sent ripples through the NFL community, the Dallas Cowboys are reportedly facing internal chaos as head coach Schottenheimer allegedly severed ties with one of his starters following a heated altercation in the locker room. Sources close to the team claim the confrontation was intense, leaving no room for reconciliation. "He's not coming back," an insider whispered, hinting at the finality of the decision. The incident, which reportedly occurred after a tense practice session, has left players and staff alike stunned. While details remain scarce, eyewitness accounts suggest that the disagreement escalated quickly, with voices raised and tempers flaring. The locker room, often considered the sanctuary of team unity, became the stage for a public showdown that insiders say shocked even the most veteran players. Fans are buzzing on social media, speculating about the identity of the player involved and the potential impact on a Cowboys season. Analysts are already questioning how this rupture will affect team morale and on-field performance. The Cowboys, known for their disciplined approach under Schottenheimer, now face an unusual dilemma, managing a high-profile fallout while keeping their focus on upcoming matchups. Historically, Schottenheimer has been praised for his leadership and ability to maintain locker room order, which makes this incident all the more striking. Some suggest that the conflict may have been brewing for weeks, pointing to subtle tensions in practice and disagreements over strategy. Others insist it was a sudden explosion, a perfect storm of personalities and pressure colliding in a confined space. No official statement has been made by the team, but insiders hint that the decision to cut ties with the starter was swift and non-negotiable. This move could signal a new era of strict accountability under Schottenheimer, or it could backfire if key players perceive the action as overly harsh. One thing is certain. The Cowboys' locker room will be under intense scrutiny in the coming days, as fans and media alike wait for the next development in what might become one of the most talked-about controversies of the season. The NFL world is watching, and the rumor mill is in overdrive. Who will fill the void left by the absent starter? Will this shake the team's playoff aspirations, or will the Cowboys rally around their coach's bold decision? Only time will tell, but for now, the Schottenheimer starter clash has injected drama and intrigue into an already intense football season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.